Hello everyone, so welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about web apps in Azure. We have seen in the last like site to point connection, point to site connections related to Azure and other Azure concepts in the previous videos. So if you want, you can also take a link from the entire playlist Azure Beginners to Professional, and that is in the description box to watch this series. So let's start with the web app. So web apps are the applications that you can deploy it in Azure normal in the traditional way. For the web-based applications or websites, if you want to deploy, you have to configure a server. But here you need not to do that. You need not to configure any server or anything. You can directly use your web app structure as an instance and you can deploy it on Azure cloud. So it will run as an independent identity. It will not like you need to follow a traditional approach that you have to use in web app servers such as IIS or anything running on the server and you can deploy. So you can directly deploy the web apps in the Azure. That's called web apps for container services, web apps for Linux services. A lot of things are there. We will talk about this in the same, or could be some in the later on. So if we talk about here in Azure, we have an application gallery functionality. Scaling is available, like it will ensure that the MS, the Microsoft Azure Load Balancer in the backend, that ensure that your application must have a proper scaled out, like it should not get failed or anything, and it will dynamically accommodate the changes that required as per your web app. We can use the application gallery to deploy for the deployment purposes. I will show you how we can do that. We can deployment slot testings, web jobs, lot of things are there. We will see all these which features. We can configure the logs and alert authentication and authorizations. So that can be set out or can be placed when we are deploying an app. So here we can deploy an app as an independent instance and an identity, or deploy a website as an independent instance or identity. It's not like you have to configure an entire server. We have an option. We can also use the mobile app functionality, like we can deploy the mobile app services as a part of app service. So through which it can be pushed directly to your cell phones and pick it out. Like it supports your Windows, iOS, and Android platforms for app creation, and the users can download and connect their mobile app to Azure Cloud. And in Azure Cloud, server instance is not mandatory. You can use your web app instance only. Okay, this is how we can compare and configure. You can see the comparison view of web app, Azure Cloud Services, and Azure VMs. So if we talk about from the end user prospect, this one, if it is going through a platform as a service, then obviously I think I just moved back. Okay, so if I'm using a platform as a service, then it would be a web app that is accessed by here. If I go in the different way, like the traditional way, infrastructure as a service, so you can take a virtual machine at Azure Cloud. At this virtual machine, you can publish your IIS web server and you can publish your website from there. From web app concept, if we talk about here, the platform as a service, and it is working like that. Like you can simply send a request and it can host it. So no VM or nothing else required as a developer or as a deployment admin. You can define the roles and you can access it. And we also have a small more concept. If we talk about the comparing the app deployment methods in app services. So the various methods are there like Visual Studio encodings, GitHubs. You can use your secure file transfers. You can use your structure on premises if you have. You can directly transfer the data from there. So whenever you develop a code, you can just upload those codes or you can just upload that web app and test it out. So I will show you how we can configure and we can deploy the web apps in the lab step. So just let quickly go to the lab work and see how we can deploy it, a small web app. I'm going to show you it here. Okay. Okay, so just connect your Azure portal, and once you log in your Azure portal, see the first thing you have to remember is that like when you are going to deploy it Azure mm, web app which is based on Azure, that must be integrated with one of storage account in the backend because you have to store the data that you are going to use in your website or your web app. So, and the second thing, you must have an web app codes in the zip file format or it's a solution. So that would be provided by a developer. And if you are working as a developer, then obviously you will build that solution in your Visual Studio or any particular application solution wherever you have. So once you collect all these information, first you have to create an storage account as an Azure admin. So log in on the portal and just go to home and the new resource, create a new resource, and then in the new resource creation, select an storage account. Just click on that, and I will show you how we can integrate it. So click on this to get it created. Resource group. I'm just going to take it a new resource group here. That is my web app RG resource group. Okay, I'm just creating a new one. Okay, storage account name that should be in the small letters. Like if I try to type it as a capital, it will see the error, the only lowercase letters and the numbers. So I have to use an storage account that must be unique also. So let me just quickly take it out. Web app. It's already taken by someone else, so I just take it out one 0101. Let me see. Okay, now it is available. You have to select the location wherever your services are hosted as per your subscription. I'm taking it as general purpose storage. I don't require a very high uh, features functionalities type. So I can take it. You can take a type of storage. You can also use the blob storage. So let me just quickly go ahead. Networking. I don't want anything specific. Nothing else required for me right now. So I'm just going to create this storage account. So it will take a couple of minutes to deploy it, and I will be back in the next part to show you how we can deploy it from this storage account and how we will move forward. So the next video link is in description box, so you can just check it out from the description box and take the link of next video. In the next video, I will show the entire deployment of web app. So keep watching this channel, and the entire series link is also in the description box, so you can take it from there. Thank you.